Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Q&A with us, the British Fist.
Catching.
And I am Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me, as you guys know, Triple H fanboy number one, which is probably why he's wearing that really stupid shirt. It's none other than NJ, people.
What's up?
And up yours too. If you have any questions for us, please put them down in the comment section
Not
below.
for us, not for you, not for what you just said up this shirt, not for you, for me. Me. Send in questions for me.
Wow, someone's ego has got quite big since the last Q&A. What's happened?
You enjoy this shirt. Evolution, one of the best factions.
Oh, okay, alright, okay, I'll give you a chance to rebuff. Make fun of my shirt if you can.
And for me. Me.
And I thought you could at least said something like N for Neanderthal or something like that. I gave you a chance and you failed.
You're wearing a shirt about me.
Yeah, it's N, and there's not a J, but okay, fair enough. Anyway, enough of our quibbling. That is a word, by the way. Americans. Ow, don't do that. We're gonna go to our first question, which is from. I thought you were gonna do me. Yeah, that's better. Paul Erickson Alejandrino. Do you think he's asking us a lot of questions? Do you think Daniel Bryan and John Cena put prestige back in the IC and US title?
No.
I think this question was asked before Daniel Bryan got injured, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here. But initially, I thought that maybe it could have put a bit of prestige back in the IC. I mean, with John Cena, he's going to be featured on TV every week.
Yep.
You know they're going to put some effort into what he's doing because he's John Cena. Daniel Bryan, the guy's very over. But he was the kind of guy who I thought they probably wouldn't put all that much effort in, and they really didn't seem to.
I think, sadly, Dolph Ziggler's passed his concussion injury thing on to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan can't be trusted, so for the people that want to see him in the main event,
it's a good fucking job they didn't have him in the WrestleMania main event.
There we go. As for John Cena, I think he is putting somewhat prestige, but it's all really bringing Rusev back into the story. So what I would do, shame we're not going to have John Cena versus Daniel Bryan, because if they did do it, John Cena would have to win, because obviously Daniel Bryan can't be trusted. But prestige, I think it just depends on who beats them, which is going to give us the answer.
Yes, who they pass the torch on to, so to speak. I don't ever think they'll bring prestige back to the IC and US title, to be honest with you. So I don't see why Daniel Bryan and John Cena being there would change that. If John Cena wins the United States Championship at Mania, which he did, do you think he'll help elevate the title? Has he helped elevate the title since WrestleMania?
He's faced wrestlers that...
He's done an open challenge, I know that.
That's sometimes been fun, but I think him just praising it, talking about it, again, if it gets past to, let's say, Sheamus, let's just go with that. I wouldn't say he has. Obviously, Sheamus is not really going to do prestige.
I mean, has the US Championship been in the main event? Has it been a massive deal of the show? Has it led to semi-main event pay-per-view matches? Storylines which people are interested in? Does it really help elevate other people as part of it, like Rusev?
People look good in the matches against John Cena. We'll say there's been some good matches.
Cena wins, well. As the Snow Daddies keep saying. But anyway, we'll move on from that. Which former WWE star would you want to see work in NXT?
Former.
Yes, I'm thinking of... we've had Rhino, we've had Kendrick, we've had some other... Yeah, we've had them working in NXT. I'm trying to think of like more of a high flyer, like a Shelton Benjamin.
Emma Bourne.
Someone like Emma Bourne, but I think a Shelton Benjamin would be pretty good in NXT. Very athletic. I think, again, another guy who could really help teach the NXT guys a little bit about WWE and business.
I'd counter that a little bit, because we talk about most of NXT guys are the smaller guys. We haven't really got the bigger guys apart from...
Kevin Owens, yeah. And I think like someone like a Bully Ray. Why not a Bully Ray? Bubba Ray, sorry.
Well, we're wanting to see Bobby Roode come into the WWE. So bringing him in, I think... Well, he's not a former WWE, so can't cross him off. But Bully Ray, I think keeping that character, which they won't, into WWE would be good.
What are your thoughts on the WrestleMania card so far? So, we're past WrestleMania now. So, the WrestleMania card. Okay. The ladder match for the IC Championship was random as fuck. It wasn't really built up to, apart from the fact that they were stealing the IC title. Wow, because that was sure as hell wasn't aimed at kids. Sting versus Triple H. The build, I didn't mind the build per se.
Focusing too much on Triple H, because Sting obviously weren't really there.
But then Sting lost, and then it was all about NWO versus DX. So it was basically a nostalgia trip for old fans.
Yep. John Cena.
John Cena Rusev had so much promise, and then John Cena won, and John Cena wins. LOL. What other matches were on the card? Seth Rollins, Orton. Again, that had a lot of story going into it. The match was okay, but really it was more about Seth Rollins cashing in at the end of the day. And to be honest, I think one of the bigger beneficiaries of WrestleMania was Roman Reigns in the way that he faced Brock Lesnar. And I think he was a big beneficiary out of WrestleMania in the way they booked it and the way, but I think his character going forward took a bit of a hit.
But
Taker Bray Wyatt. You don't want to go to Taker Bray Wyatt? I mean, it was Bray Wyatt in the semi-main event, but it's Bray Wyatt losing against the top WWE star again.
Don't do this. But overall, the card, to be honest, it worked, like we said at the beginning, it weren't a WrestleMania to get excited for.
No, but it was a good card. I mean, the matches, I watched WrestleMania, it was surprisingly good.
True.
I mean, it wasn't great.
No.
It was surprisingly good.
True.
So the WrestleMania card, I thought there wasn't too much excitement going into it, but I knew that at least we would get a good WrestleMania in terms of match quality. I mean, you got like a multi-man ladder match. You've got Sting versus Triple H, which is going to bring out the nostalgia. You got Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, which was more about the characters. The main event you knew was going to be something different between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. It was going to feel different to the rest of the matches. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins is going to be a good match. You knew that Cena versus Rusev was going to be a good match until John Cena won. So you had a lot of good matches there. It's just, the build up to it, and it wasn't very, the excitement levels for it weren't very good.
No.
But I must admit, the Seth Rollins cash in at the end did, in my opinion, put more of a thumbs up on the show. Probably the first thoughts I've had on WrestleMania since I watched it. It's actually so much better watching a show and then knowing you don't have to review it afterwards. I must admit, that does make the show more enjoyable for me. I don't know about you.
When it comes to Raw, sadly, yes. Pay-per-views, I want to give my opinion out because that's what the whole month's been building up towards.
I hope I get this YouTube name correct. Ranuasha Satome. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrongly. It just seems like a rather complicated name to say. Will Terminator NJ ever come back? I miss him.
Oh, beautiful question.
To be honest, we don't know.
We never know.
It's really up to him. Basically, he's like the Stig of Top Gear. Terminator NJ for British Fist, so we don't really know.
I will go with the hot part I miss him because he was something different and he did bring something to surprising moments and gave us skits and stuff. But
it's very polarizing as well, wasn't he? In the sense that there were some people that seemed to really like him, and then others really didn't seem to like him at all.
There was a lot of that, and obviously that's why the criticism and just sticks to the reviews. That's what we came to see, but I think there was a lot of stuff that helped make our channel different and collab in some cases, and I think it was brilliant. But as for coming back, I think he's a bit like us, knowing that our opinion on wrestling's dying, and that's probably fed him more a happy feeling because the company that we were reviewing each week.
And to be honest, why would he come in and try and attack us when he knows that we're not going to bother doing the review anyway?
There's our answer.
So, he's probably, I'm just going to put this out there. He may have attacked us off camera, but he just hasn't been on YouTube, so you guys just don't know about it. So think about that. We're not going to disclose any information because we don't really feel like we need to, but you never know. That may be going on. Just saying. There's more to YouTube than you think, guys. Would you like to see Undertaker win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? No.
No, what I would like to see happen is me to win the World Champion. Me!
And that question was asked by Aaron Crace.
Hello, Aaron.
Who would you like to see TNA sign? Rey Mysterio and Justin Roberts. So would you like to see TNA sign them?
No.
Do they really? I don't really think they need to overspend on a ring announcer. And Rey Mysterio, I wouldn't be a bad idea for TNA, but I think Rey Mysterio won a lot of money, and I don't think TNA could afford that.
Ray is he weren't trustworthy in WWE because of his injuries. What's going to say he's going to be trustworthy in TNA? And the other thing is, with this injured leg, he's not as bad as Hogan, but still, I don't think Ray should continue wrestling.
Would you like to see WWE sign Velvet Sky, Maria, and Adam Cole? I think Velvet Sky would fit WWE's mold of a diva pretty well.
Blonde.
Maria, I always thought, had good, she was decent, not necessarily in the ring, but as a valet, I always thought she was, she's been Mike Bennett's valet for ages.
Bring her back to WWE.
Yeah, would you like to see WWE sign? So Maria, yeah, as a valet,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, she was a massive piece of eye candy. Although I was very disappointed by her Playboy, I must admit. I thought that would be a bit better. But there you go. Adam Cole. Um, I never really thought Adam Cole was anything special. It's maybe because I haven't been exposed to him as much as a lot of people have, but I've heard WWE have attempted to sign Adam Cole, so there must be something good about him. I just haven't seen it. Do you even remember Adam Cole from the ROH days?
Somewhat annoying.
Cole and Riley? Do you remember that tag team? Yeah, we're Cole and Riley. We're going to do some flips and kicks and shit. You don't remember him?
No.
Well, that's ROH for you. Who the fuck remembers them? What about Undertaker versus John Cena at WrestleMania 32? No, and I think it's mainly because we've gone past the stage where I think Undertaker could beat John Cena.
That, and also the fact you want Undertaker and John Cena to be the biggest match possible. And I think what would help to make it so big is the streak.
Yes, yeah.
Without the streak, in John Cena's case, like for Sting and Undertaker, it's fine. That's a special match.
Yes, it's a match which everyone wants to see.
And Sting's not vying for the streak, he's vying for the speciality. John Cena would more likely have been by Taker for the streak, proving that he can do it. So, to be honest, I think that Taker should have probably one more Mania, Sting, and just forget John Cena.
Plus, I think at this point in time, Undertaker and John Cena should both be putting over younger talents. Yeah, I know that sounds funny for John Cena, but yeah, let's just go with that. RFV089. There's a football question there, AJ, so you're not going to go away. Mr. Parkin, what are your thoughts on Qatar being selected to host the World Cup? Really stupid. Mainly because they're going to have the World Cup in December because of how hot it is up there. And I just think that whole thing is stupid. It's just going to rearrange the Premier League fixtures. It's just going to rearrange everything. So I think Qatar hosting the World Cup is a fucking joke. And I think that the only reason Qatar got it was because of a bit of money laundering by FIFA, and that's why Sepp Blatter is a fucking numpty.
I think I should hold the World Cup. Me!
Oh dear. Well, at least in that case, it would be held in England. That's all I'll say. Do you think that it would have been better to have Rollins win the title at the Royal Rumble and then main event WrestleMania 31 with Reigns and Ambrose and triple threat, so that instead of creating one new top guy, you can create 3 new top guys who would carry the company for the next 10 years?
Okay, I've got you.
No, because I think it was better that they had Reigns go against Brock Lesnar, who was on the role that he was on. And, I just think, even if it was a triple threat match, I think Ambrose would have been lost in the shuffle anyway.
Thing is, I think Brock in a big match.
He had to be in the main event.
There we go.
Yes.
But Ambrose, I think the WWE are clueless on what to do with him. And I think if they did know they were building up to WrestleMania, maybe things would be different. And that triple threat, a whole year after breaking up, they spin it back around and it builds up to them all face each other. Mania would have been exciting, but because of Brock Lesnar, you're prioritising the triple threat over Moneymaker Brock.
Yeah, and I don't think that would have been a legit main event for WrestleMania, personally. But to be honest with you, I know Ambrose has been lost in the shuffle, and that's a real shame. But they've made a star out of Reigns in the way that he performed against Brock Lesnar, and then they had Seth Rollins be the first person to cash in a WrestleMania period, not to mention the main event, and beat Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns for the WWE World Championship. So, they kind of made 2 stars there.
True.
And now, I know Reigns is in a feud with the Big Show right now, maybe not when this video goes out, but Seth Rollins is now the biggest heel on the roster. What more could you do? And they're basically making him the new Edge. Well, they're trying to anyway.
Looks that way, yes.
Yeah, the rated R super crap. If Brock Lesnar does stay with the WWE, would you like him to feud with Randy Orton and have a WrestleMania match against The Rock? Yes, since you've asked this question, he signed a new multi-year deal. I think he'll have a match against either Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins first to continue on from WrestleMania. I would like to see him face Randy Orton, but I have a strange feeling they'll turn him babyface.
I think Orton, I've always said Orton should
next
not,
biggest name.
He should have stayed as a heel. Orton, I just don't like the fact he's a face again, but we're going to go with the fact he's a face. Brock, again, I know it's possibly going to happen, but yeah, he could turn face, even though I don't think Brock should really be a face after the stuff that's happened in his time in the WWE. So I'd hope to see Orton and Lesnar, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen yet.
What about Brock versus Rock? It's another
Mania.
suggestion that RFE089 made. At Mania, Brock versus Rock wouldn't be a bad money maker, would it?
I look at The Rock and think he's more than likely setting gold with movies, but for a Mania match, following this build-up of possibly Triple H and Rock, go against Brock the year after, step up from SummerSlam, a big story could come out of that, title not needed, go for it.
Agreed,
Yes.
because it's just a big moneymaker match.
It would be.
Are you going? No, this is a bit defunct, but we're going to answer this anyway. Are you going to review WrestleMania 31 together? And to be honest with you, I'm going to just flip this a little bit. Going into WrestleMania 31, I think we both agreed that WrestleMania we just weren't very excited for it, which is why we didn't. I mean, I know you did a review of it. I didn't really want to do a review of it. I just really couldn't be bothered. But we did WrestleMania 30 together because we were both amped up about Daniel Bryan mainly, so we had something to be amped up about. But this year it was just like, we had this discussion, didn't we? And we were just like, WrestleMania just doesn't feel like WrestleMania this year. So what's the point?
And going into it, I didn't even know if I was going to do a review, just because obviously I didn't feel excited going into this Mania. So I wasn't going to say, Dan, I'm going to be reviewing it. No, because I was going into it thinking I'll just watch it because it's the biggest pay-per-view of the year, and that's where it will stay.
And you're very much unlike a politician who, you make a promise and you deliver on it, NJ. You don't like to make false promises, do you? Unlike some politicians out there. I'm not going to mention.
Don't come after us, please.
I'm not going to mention names here. Thunder Night, but you remember politicians. We have a few thousand subscribers, so we can reach out to a few thousand people. So. If you want a couple more thousand people to vote for you, we could be the men to go and look at, even though this video is going to go out after the voting, so that was kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Sorry for wasting your time. Sorry for wasting your time, all the political leaders out there. Thunder Night 19. I can't believe how much I messed up on that one. Would casual audiences react well to Finn Balor if he only uses the body paint on special occasions on the main roster like he's done in NXT? I believe you must have seen Finn Balor's face paint, and it's for a special occasion, it's really good in my opinion. How would casual audiences react?
Can we say his name properly?
Finn.
No, Balor.
Finn.
Get rid of Finn, just Balor.
When he comes to the WWE, he's going to be Balor. Yeah, pretty
Balor.
much like Big E, Cesaro, Neville. It's funny, isn't it, that when Neville made his debut, Neville wasn't trending. Adrian Neville was trending on Twitter. I found that funny. It's like WWE must have been thinking about it. Oh my fucking god. Adrian Neville's trending and we've called him Neville. Yeah, that's such a British name. Yeah.
He should keep that. I think that made him stand out, which we need characters that stand out. And if his face paint is helping to stand out.
But the question is, would casual audiences react well?
Yes.
I think they would. If the casual audiences are given something unique and something that really stands out, like Balor's entrance does, I think they will react well to it. The NXT crowd does because most of them know who he is. So as soon as the casual audiences find out who Balor is, then they will react well.
It didn't sound like just Balor, but
no.
I think an example of this is Boogeyman.
Yes.
He had all face paint. He was different, and he worked. But I think casual fans will eat it up.
Yes. And one more question before we end this Q&A. Alex Ganga. Do you think Tyson Kidd versus Daniel Bryan could be a WrestleMania match if it was built as the protege of Bret Hart versus the protege of HBK? Unfortunately, I don't think that could be a WrestleMania match, and it's mainly down to the fact that it's Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd's a great wrestler, but he's not a name. You wouldn't put him alongside the likes of Bret Hart, whereas at least Daniel Bryan could be somewhat seen as maybe a successor to HBK, potentially, perhaps. But Tyson Kidd and Bret Hart, you've got Bret Hart up there, Tyson Kidd who's down here. So, no, even if you did build it like that, no, I don't think this would be a WrestleMania match at all.
As much as I love that Kidd's made to the main roster again, I don't think he's going to be a guy who could be successful on his own to face, even if he is mid-card of Bryan.
Yes.
I don't think he could.
He's just destined to be on NXT, which isn't a bad thing, because he can be a big part of that roster and really helping the next generation. I'd rather be the guy that has helped, really develop the next generation of stars than I would be just stuck in a tag team or, in the mid card or the undercard for my whole career.
Very true.
Which is why I don't mind Samoa Joe being in NXT. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, that's been another Q&A from us, the British Fist. You'll get another one next week and the week after, and perhaps the week after, and maybe the week after. Who knows?
We want to push it to another 200.
What, for another 4 years?
Oh yes.
Oh my God, I'll be 30. Just imagine being 30. Well, you'll be over 30. I'll be 30. Just imagine being 30 and still doing Q&As. Come on.
Talk about my age.
Yeah, I'll talk about your age, receding hairline.
I'll say this from Mr. Parkin wearing an N shirt, and me,
him, me.